Hello and welcome. It's your favorite show, Makeup with a Pro, and I am Rita Peng. Can you tell I'm so excited about today's episode? Yes, I know you can tell. Today we're going to be doing our Beginners 101 all about foundation. Yes? You're excited too? That's great to know. Have you had questions about foundation? What's the right kind of foundation to use? How do you know the right color for your skin tone? What product should you be using? Well, all those questions will be answered right here today. You don't want to go anywhere. Let's jump right into it. Before we jump into the practical aspects of today's episode, I'd just like to share some more information with you that is so important, you know, about the different kinds of foundation and which one will work best for you. Now, the first kind of foundation is a cream formula. The cream formula comes in a compact like this. It's a cream-based product. Cream-based products are great for people who have dry skin or who have, you know, a lot of unevenness and they need a fuller coverage finish to be able to conceal all the imperfections. Now, I need to mention this about foundation. Foundations essentially are for helping to create the illusion of perfection. Now, so you don't have flawless skin. Well, there's a solution. All you need is the right kind of foundation to create, you know, the flawlessness that you think doesn't exist, but will exist in a minute. So the cream foundation gives a full coverage, but it's great for dry skin. Because to be able to give that full coverage, it carries a punch with oil. So if you have oily skin, you want to stay away from this. Now we're going to be looking at the liquid formula. The liquid formula is a great kind of foundation that gives medium to semi-full coverage. That means the coverage is not as intense as the cream formula, but it's great for someone who has good skin and they don't want a product that is heavy on their skin, just like me. You want something light, just give you the right amount of coverage, not too heavy. This is the foundation for you. Now, these are the two kinds of foundation that you'll find in your love affair with foundation. Now, the final one I need to mention that is so in trend is a BB cream. A BB cream contains 80% of moisturizer and just a tinge of foundation, just making the moisturizer a bit more tinted. Now, a BB cream is great for someone who has flawless skin. You've been giving your skin all the attention it requires, and all you just need is light coverage and you're good to go. Then the BB cream is for you. So it's very lightweight coverage, nothing too heavy, lots of moisturizer, a bit of sun protection, and a little bit of color. It's important that I mention concerning the liquid formula, that the liquid formula is best for the oily skin type. It doesn't pack a punch of oil like the cream formula. It may not cover as much or give as much of a full coverage as the cream formula. But the great news is that with the liquid foundation, the coverage is buildable. So you don't have enough coverage after the first application, that's fine. You can go in again with the second application. You're not satisfied? Then you can go in lightly with a third application. The idea is that you can build with the liquid formula to give you the coverage that you require. So now the next step for the perfect foundation application is your tools. You know what they say? Bad tools make a bad workman. So it's important that you know the right tools for doing a great job with your foundation. And the first all-important tool is your foundation brush. The foundation brush is a stipple brush. So that means, look at the shape very careful. It has its bristle facing upward, it's short and it's thick set. It allows you to pick foundation, cream or liquid formula and apply it to the skin while you're buffing. So the stipple brush come in various sizes. The stipple brushes that are bigger than this and something just at this size. For beginners, I advise that you find the size that you know allows you to be able to have control. This is a moderate size and it's perfect for a beginner. The next tool is a sponge. There are different kinds of sponges. There's a wedge sponge and then there's a flat face sponge. The next set of tools for your flawless foundation application is your beauty blender or your sponge, whatever name you want to call it. The sponge is also an effective tool for applying foundation. So what it does is that, you know, with its silicone base, it allows you to pick up foundation products, cream or liquid. The silicone actually prevents the products from seeping in too much into the sponge and wasting your product. So finding the right kind of sponge is important. So your sponge is also a tool. If you don't have a brush, don't be stuck. you can use your sponge. So now we're going to be going into foundation application. Our next step is how you identify the right color foundation for your skin tone. Have you had a problem with that? I know most people often say to me, we go by beauty supply stores and most of the attendants who mean well rush up and say, oh auntie, I know your color. Well, don't settle for that anymore. I'm going to be showing you right here how you know what is your exact tone and what shade you should be getting. In conducting a foundation test, you heard right. It's important that you insist, anywhere you're going to buy foundation products, insist that they test the product on your skin. Because it's only in testing that you can tell if the foundation is your exact tone, and make sure that in conducting this test, you're in a well-lit room. I normally prefer and I recommend that you stay by natural light. So take your mirror, don't be in a hurry to leave the store, go by natural light and make sure they conduct the test appropriately. Why is this important? So that when you leave the store, you are armed with a product that is your exact skin tone and probably something that is for your exact skin type. And in also purchasing foundation, it's important that you ask a lot of questions. Is it oil-free? Is it a cream product? Is it a liquid product? Is there an expiry date? All these questions are essential, as a guide to help you make the right choice in picking the product of choice. So going into the practical aspect of today's episode, which is so exciting, our model Stella. Hello Stella. So Stella has excessively oily skin. So we've selected a liquid foundation for her. Remember that I mentioned that the liquid foundation doesn't pack as much oil as the cream product. So I picked out a liquid foundation for Stella, but now we're going to conduct a test. I don't want to force any product on Stella. I want to be able to conduct a test so that Stella can tell if the foundation is in her exact shade. Stella's skin is excessively oily. So what I'm doing here is conducting a test to get the right shade for Stella. So I've taken the cream product and I very carefully put it on the side of her face. I'm now going to take a blending brush, staple brush, to blend that foundation in. Very lightly. I'm not putting any kind of pressure onto the brush. Now upon blending that foundation in, I'm very carefully going to turn Stella's face towards my light supply. And I'm going to investigate to see if the foundation I put on her face matches the complexion on her skin and the complexion on her neck. If her foundation is standing apart from her neck and is sitting just on the top of her skin without blending in effortlessly, then it's the wrong shade for Stella. I'd like to show us a practical example. Now I've taken a shade of foundation that may be recommended for Stella as her shade. I've put it on the side of her face. I'm going in still with that blending brush and I'm blending it effortlessly. When the foundation is in your exact shade, you don't need a lot of effort in blending in. If you found that you've spent well over 2-3 minutes in blending your foundation in and you're struggling to buff it into your skin, almost like you're giving your skin a bribe to accept the foundation, then you know it's wrong. Once you begin your effortless process of blending, it should just settle in. That's how you know it's your exact color. So I'm blending in. Look at this very carefully. You'll find that the foundation has blended into it to a certain extent, but it's a fair portion of that foundation just sitting on top of Stella's skin, looking a bit like a mask. Now, if every time you do your foundation or you have your foundation on and it looks and feels like there's a mask on your face or it leaves a film of some sort, it is the wrong shade. Comparing it with this side that has blended effortlessly, the same amount of time I put here and the same effort I put there is what I've done. But this has just sunk into Stella's skin and become almost one with her skin tone. This is her foundation. Now I can push Stella to purchase this. If I was a rep in a beauty store or a salesperson, I could go on and say something like, "Auntie, this is your exact color. You look very pretty." Under pressure, not being armed with the right kind of information, she may give in and purchase it, but she will not enjoy using this foundation for long. Now, but for Stella to enjoy her foundation 100%, she needs to purchase a product that sits effortlessly on her skin, looking exactly like her skin tone, only more flawless. Do we get it now? How you know your exact skin tone in purchasing a foundation? Don't allow anyone put pressure on you to pick a product that is not sitting effortlessly and naturally on your skin. Your foundation is to help you create the illusion of flawless skin, not to create a mask or a haze. So be careful. So having discovered Stella's exact skin tone, I'm going to go in now to show us how we apply our foundation day to day as a beginner. Next step is our technique for application. Now I'm taking the foundation I picked out for Stella's skin that matches her exact skin tone, and I'm carefully applying the foundation in little stripes around the face, starting from one side of the face. And I'll explain to you why. Depending on the product that you're working with, most foundations that are oil-free contain a bit of alcohol. So we've applied the foundation in thin stripes around the face, just maintaining one part of the face, because most foundation that is predominantly oil-free contains a bit of alcohol, and the alcohol in it tends to dry up really fast. So if you put the stripes around the entire face, you'll find that when you try to go in and blend, it has dried up and it becomes a bit of a struggle to blend. So now I'm blending the foundation in. With your stipple brush, it allows you to just buff the foundation into your skin. What this means is that it is depositing into your skin what your skin requires, while at the same time, the surface of the brush is blending away the excess. So that's one layer of foundation, where in the case that I want to give Stella a fuller coverage, I'll go in with another layer of foundation for a fuller coverage. So I'm going in with my buffing brush and I'm buffing in the foundation into the sides of the face, because if we go in a circle, what happens is that we do not get to the under of her jaw into her neckline, and that tends to leave a circle. We tend to create a mask, leaving here almost bare. So it's important for uniformity that we blend downward a bit. Did I hear you say, what if I'm wearing a shirt to work or for the day? The stains it will create. Blend downward gradually without necessarily going all the way into your neckline. So I'm going to the top of her forehead and I'm blending in as well into her hairline. It's important that we follow this technique so that we don't leave some areas untouched, thereby creating a masky effect. So what part of Stella's face, foundation in her exact tone has been perfectly applied. So I'm repeating the same process on the other side of the face. Because we've used 2 coats of foundation on this way, we have a fuller coverage here than here. So I'm going to go in with another coat of foundation so that we have the same amount of coverage on both sides. Stella's foundation is in place. We put 2 coats of foundation on this side, we put 2 coats of foundation on that side. Remember that for Stella, because her skin is oily, we used a liquid formula that is largely oil-free. Now, anytime you use a cream product or a liquid product on your face, make sure you set that same product with the powder. If you don't set with the powder, if Stella is to go into any kind of humidity, this foundation will break. Most people often describe it as their foundation running away. We don't want this foundation to run away. We're calling it back. So we're going to set it with a pressed powder. It's lightweight, it's a mineral finish, it is not heavy. So it allows Stella to have her foundation in place, perfect dry, without being overweight. So I'm going in now with a loose powder brush and I'm just setting. it's important to mention that the lightweight powder does not necessarily have color. The idea is not to add additional color after applying the foundation. Your foundation already has all the color you need. That is just perfect for your skin. Adding additional color in form of powder will be kicking up your face, and that immediately ages you. So we've set the wet product with a dry, lightweight powder. So there you have it, everything you need to know about your foundation basics for beginners. Stella, you look flawless. Alright, so if you have questions or comments, or there's an episode you'd like us to do here on the show, let us know. Feel free to reach out to us at Views Channel on all of the social media platforms. From us here, it's a big thank you. Until next time, bye-bye.